Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Behind the Music. How are y'all doing? Y'all know I can't start that, so got that sound effect. Okay, period. I know it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've last been here, but I'm excited to be back. As of April, we are going to have episodes every other week, and hopefully as we roll into summer, we'll start to have those episodes every week. But until then, please enjoy this one featuring the one and only Sadé. I am so excited to have her on this week's episode. Listen, the girl just dropped her second EP. It's called Intuition. If you haven't dived into it, you need to, okay? But of course, after this live. It is beautiful. It is filled with soulful, R&B, neo-afro-pop vibes. That is how I can summarize it. And personally, to me, it sounds like a love letter. And we will definitely get more into that when she hops on this live. Until then, y'all, please enjoy the beats in the background. This song is called Diamonds, and of course, it's from her album, Intuition. Hey, what's up, Lucy? Hey, we're just jamming out some vibes. We are jamming out to some music while we're waiting for her. I think she's here, actually. Hello.
Hi, what's up?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm
Good to see you.
Just jamming out to your EP. No big deal. It's finally out.
Oh my gosh! Like, listen.
How's it feel? It has been like months in the works, almost a year, no?
Oh, more than that. It's been 3 years in the works.
Wow.
3 good years of just like, and it's also partly to do with the way that I write, because I'm a slow processor in some sorts. Like, I can take my time, listen to things again and again, feel it out with people, all those types of things, and feel really good about whatever I'm working on before.
That's good. I'm glad. And then, you know what? Maybe it's for the better that it took that long, right? Because then you're really able to pour your most authentic self into it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, let me do a quick intro. For those that are just tuning in, I am with the one and only Sadé Awele.
Hey.
Did I pronounce that right, girl?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, perfect. I was like, I listened to a couple people butcher your name, and I'm like, I don't want to be on the list. All right. So she is a soulful R&B, pop, Afro-fusion artist, amazing, based in Vancouver as of right now. But I know you do some traveling too. We can talk about that later. You just released your second EP, Intuition, which I describe as a love letter. How would you describe it?
Oh, wow. I'm stealing that one. How would I describe it? I would describe it as my melodic thoughts.
Yeah.
That's probably, yeah. I mean, if I was gonna pick like one word, that would be what it is. But then it's also just like it's a project that allowed me to fully dive into my feelings in a way that I hadn't before. Whether it was like heartbreak, or whether it was like falling in love, or whether it was like just life in general, it just allowed me to express things that were related to me or my life. So it's sort of a vulnerable masterpiece, but in sort of a melodic way that's easy to listen, easy to absorb. Yeah.
No, it is very easy to absorb, actually. I was trying to look up more of the lyrics, but not all of them are out there as of yet. But let's get into the story that's portrayed. Was it scary releasing all those feelings in this EP and to release it and all of that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, even today when I posted I did a little reel post about diamonds, and even today I was like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. And I'm like, Sadé, like, chill, like this is part of what you do. But even that in itself, like, I don't think it ever gets old. The feeling of like I'm putting my heart out there, putting myself out there. Yeah, it never gets old.
Well, good for you for doing that. I think an
Thank you.
aspect that makes it so easy to absorb is the fact that it's upbeat. It's a nice
Yeah.
upbeat tempo for the most
Right.
part. It's just that intro that's like really, it's beautiful. It's so elegant.
Thank
You have
you.
the instruments
Thank
going,
you.
your soulful voice. It's beautiful. But that's the only time you really get to hear that from
Yeah,
you.
that's true. Like, that's the only time where it's just more of like, ah, and then after that it's like, and then we party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get into it, right?
Yeah.
You start the story. So for me, I absorbed this piece as a love story. Would you consider yourself like in love?
Would I consider myself in love? Wow, that's a big, big, big question that I will have to think about.
Fair. Fair.
And I would, if I was gonna answer honestly, I would have to think about that because yeah, I would have to think about that one.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Because like for me, the way I heard it, so I heard all of the love elements, and I absorbed it as one, a significant love there, one, and then also like the love for yourself, and then the also how that perspective of love could actually get enhanced throughout the process of just listening through it. Because even the song Intuition, where you placed it, I love that, because for me, I was like just reflecting on how the perspective of love can change based on how well you are aligned with your own
Yeah,
intuition.
yeah, absolutely. Because I think it's a combination of the two. It's sort of like it's describing love in different ways, but it's also very
Yeah.
introspective.
Yeah.
So the songs I'm sort of writing from an introspective standpoint. So it's like I think maybe the only one where it's sort of more like very much, because in intuition it's sort of like, okay, I want to follow my intuition, I want to follow my heart, I want to dive into this space that I'm feeling, and this thing that I'm feeling, and press into it.
Hmm. Hmm.
But then you have a song like um, what's it called? If All We Have, where it's sort of like that's the song number 6, where that one's sort of talking more about like, okay, let's actually do this. Let's actually like take that leap, take that step. So the songs are kind of different phases of love, I would say, in a sorts, or like Diamonds, where it's like that's full on like, okay, I'm done with this, I'm focusing on myself, I'm moving on to like the next thing that's going to be out there for me. And then you have Intuition, where it's like, okay, I think that thing is here, maybe I should follow my heart. And then you have it both have it's like, okay, let me really, really follow my heart in this. So different phases of love, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. That's good. So did your interpretation of love change throughout the progression of this
I would
EP?
say so. Yeah, my interpretation of love definitely changed, because some of it was like in real time, some of it was reflections, because music is always an interesting journey, because a lot of times things that inspire us could be things that happened 5 years ago, could be things that happened yesterday. It's a mixture and a combination of different things. So I feel like that aspect, I tried to portray those different phases within the song, but they were not in like the way that it's shown in the project is not necessarily the order in which they happened, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Which
Yeah.
is strategic, right? Because it makes sense for the album, the order of which you put the
Yes,
song.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you were following your intuition throughout the progression and process of this album as well.
Exactly. Pretty much. And that's why the project kind of ends with Space and Time, because Space and Time is also an introspective song, where it's talking about taking up space and being present. And it's also like also in a sorts of love letter as well, because it's sort of like trying to find that peace of mind, and that has to be, that's centered around wellness, and that's centered around caring for yourself and choosing to love yourself, and all of those things. So
yeah. Have you been able to develop a stronger relationship with your intuition throughout the progression of this album?
Absolutely.
Or EP rather?
Absolutely, I would say yes, absolutely. Because in a sense, even the words of the songs are a little bit reaffirming for me, or not a little bit, they are reaffirming for me on one hand, and then also even just going through the process, because there music is very, it's very feeling based, it's very intuitive, and like I mentioned, with the way that I go through the songwriting process, I always want to feel good about it, I want to feel confident about it. I ask myself different questions, like, okay, if I put this out, can I picture somebody else listening to this? Can I picture somebody else actually enjoying this? Do I feel like this is portraying what exactly the message is that I'm trying to convey? Can I see this as a potential sing-along? All of those different things play a part in this. Or even feeling like, oh no, this doesn't fit. Like there were certain songs that I had tried to work on in the process of this, that when it got to selecting what was actually going to be on the EP, I was like, this doesn't quite fit the sound, this doesn't quite fit the message, it doesn't quite blend with the other songs. So there was a lot of things of like, okay, wanting there to be continuity from each one song to the next, whether it's instrumental continuity, whether it's the choice of melodies continuity, and the choice of lyrics, because there's some repetitions in each song, just so that it's sort of a cohesive work in a sense.
Wow.
So yeah, absolutely, definitely full intuition was a huge part of that, because even there were certain things where someone would give a feedback and say, oh, I don't think you should do this way, I think maybe you should do it this other way, and I would be like, I listen at first, and then later I'd be like, no, actually I don't think I'm gonna do what they're suggesting. So yeah.
Good for you, because sometimes that's not easy.
Sometimes it's not easy, and sometimes it's and especially because with music, it's such a vulnerable thing. You're putting yourself out there for people to listen to you and to absorb what it is that you have to say. So there's this part of you that almost wants to please and like make sure that people, and in a sense we still hope to do that with what we put out, but then you still want to do that without losing out on your sound and what's authentic to you. So it's definitely tough, like trying to balance the two.
Especially in this era where people are just following trends as well, right? And absolutely. Like you want your music to be popular, like there's that battle where you want your music to be popular but you also want it to be authentic to you.
Yeah, exactly. There's definitely that balance. And like I know so many times I'd go for like interviews, or like people just ask me different questions and be like, oh, so how come you're not like doing like super mainstream, like how come your style is like slightly like different and everything, and like would you consider doing like mainstream stuff? And it was a struggle, like especially when I first started off as an artist. Like I was like, you know what, if I'm going to be an artist, I want to be true to my sound. Like even if I'm going to do something that's a little more on the mainstream end, I still want to have elements of my sound, and elements of my sound includes jazz, and that's why you have horns in the project. Elements of my sound is being more melodic with the sound, because that's more of a soulful feel, and just inviting all of my influences to be a part of the music, so that when I look back at it, I can feel like, yeah, this sounds like a Sadé project, as opposed to feeling like, oh shoot, I don't even recognize this person on this song, right? So
no, yeah. Absolutely. And we wouldn't want it any other way either, right? Because that's all energetically felt as well.
Yeah, exactly. There's always, you can tell when like someone's not fully into a song, where it's just like, all right, this song was written for me, so I'm gonna perform it anyways. And you can tell when the writer is really connected to the song, because even their audience feels that connection as well, and you feel like you're growing with that artist. Like SZA is a perfect example of that. Like she writes her songs, and I feel like, even though yes, some people can say, wow, she goes through the feels, but she brings you into that. That's like her brand. She brings you into that so that you feel those feelings with her. So it's more genuine in that way. Yeah.
Absolutely. SZA's a good example. Jessie J. I love Jessie J.
Yes.
She does that.
Yeah.
very, very well.
Yeah. And her
Um,
voice, oh
I,
my gosh, like just Jay's incredible.
crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, but even if you're not mainstream on the charts, I would consider you mainstream in Vancouver, just based on the amount of performances and
That
your presence out there.
is
Which,
true. That is
yeah,
true. Thank
girl.
you. And I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, no, Vancouver has been holding it down for sure with the live shows and just the different opportunities that come. And not just Vancouver, like I'd say also the lower mainland. So we have like Vancouver Island as well. And it's been really cool connecting to people here, yeah, in the city. Yeah. We need more Black people, but it's cool.
That's so funny because that's where I met you. I met you at the
Yes.
what is it called? Black Founders Business, Black Business Founders
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Black Business Awards. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's where we met. Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's so funny you bring that up because, like, when I was in Vancouver, I was surrounded by Black people.
That's amazing. Honestly, that's amazing. Like, I kid you not, there are places in Vancouver till this day that I go to, and people be asking me, "Are you from here? Like, are you from the States? Like, did you move here from the States? Or are you visiting from the States?" And I'm just
Yeah.
like, because they just don't, they're just not seeing Black people. But it is true that it is possible to see Black people, but it takes a bit of effort. Like, it takes a bit of work to be like, okay, I want to be around the Black community and
Yeah.
consistently be part of Black events, Black centered events in Vancouver, because we are, I think, 4% of the population. It's like a super
Wow.
small, yeah, we're super, super small portion of the
That's
population.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen the TikToks too. I've seen the TikToks where they're just
Yeah,
like, yeah,
girl.
like, you
Listen.
really
Those
have to
girls,
do your research,
I swear.
unfortunately. But there are the hubs, and there's that really good, what's that Instagram page that posts all like the Black events,
Oh
the
yeah,
dope Black events that are
Black
happening in
Vancouver
Vancouver?
Club. That would be
Pardon?
Black Vancouver Club. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So if
Black
you're
Vancouver
thinking
Club.
of visiting Vancouver anytime soon and you're down for like R&B, like good
Yeah.
music, soulful vibes, check out that
Yeah,
page.
that's definitely the page to go to. And she highlights all of the events, not just locally to Vancouver, but even when touring artists are coming to Vancouver, stuff like that. She's really, really good at highlighting those things. Because, man, before Black Vancouver Club, there wasn't really any proper way to know the events that were happening by Black people in Vancouver. It was a struggle. Yeah, it was a struggle.
Okay, well, hopefully we're moving towards
The right
betterment.
direction. Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully, some type of progression.
Yeah.
But you also have a presence in Toronto, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I
Yeah.
live in Toronto. My family's out in Toronto. So it's nice to always go out there and to perform there. I did North by Northeast last year. Obviously going back there this year for the tour, and also going to be doing North by Northeast, but this time under a different band. So I'm excited to go back. Toronto's dope. Toronto's a vibe.
Yeah, it always is. It always is. Okay, so tell us more about this tour. Where are you going?
Yeah, okay, so the tour. So it's going to start in Edmonton and it's going to end in Toronto. So the six cities, yeah. So pretty exciting. 6 cities: Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto. So trying to cover my bases on the mega cities, and just also trying to use it as an opportunity to network with other artists. So I'm gonna have different artists in each city, have some really cool DJs as well that are going to be performing as well, which is cool. I'm gonna be announcing them very soon, and we'll just be rolling out different types of promos with the artists, and I'm really just excited and honored that they would even consider being a part of this project and also being a part of this tour. Like I'm looking forward, I think, to just meeting people in these cities, getting a feel for the music scene. I mean, some of the places I already know the music scene, like I already know the Toronto music scene, I know Vancouver music scene, I know a little bit of Calgary music scene, but then there's a lot of places that I'm gonna be learning, like Edmonton. I've never performed in Edmonton before, it's gonna be my first time. I've never performed in Montreal before, it's gonna be my first time. I've never performed in Ottawa as well, it's gonna be my first time. So I'm gonna be learning a lot of things and just there to connect and just have a good time, really. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Well, we have T Fanny in the comment
Hey,
section, and she is based in
hey,
Calgary. So now you know Sadé is coming out to Calgary. We need to make sure the crowd
hey,
pulls up. The squad needs to be
hey.
there. It needs to be a sold
Definitely
out
have to
show.
connect. We definitely have to connect when I come to Calgary. That's what's up.
Yeah, yeah. T and I will work on that for you.
Hey.
Let me know if you're down for that, T. That's awesome. That's awesome. And it's also going to be happening like around spring, summertime too, your tour, right?
Exactly. So starting May 23rd. So the first venue is going to be in Edmonton at the Avery on May 23rd, then May 24th, then June 7th, and then June 12th, 13th, 15th. Yeah, a
Yeah.
mixture of sort of late spring, early summer kind of thing. Just before people are like, no, we want to be outdoors now.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, like, in terms of what's happening in the music scene around that time, like, just based on festival seasons just about to start up, and then you have Canadian Music Week and stuff. Like, I feel like that's a really great time for you to be traveling.
Exactly. It's a perfect time, and I love that it's lining up as well, really close to Canadian Music Week and North by Northeast, because a lot of people are just going to be in Toronto and Ontario during that time. So
Yeah.
it'll just be nice to, they can, while they're hopping to the different events, they can be like, oh, let's see what's happening, at Adelaide Hall in Toronto on June 15th. Or maybe they'll be in Montreal or Ottawa. But it's such a great month, June, for music. So much music happening all across the country, that I feel like, it's going to be a great time to connect with people for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have a question that rolled in here. What is your favorite genre of music and why?
My favorite genre of music and why? I have favorite genres. I definitely started off listening to jazz. Jazz was like a big influence in my life, and that was because of my dad. My dad was a huge jazz enthusiast, and he would play, you know, all sorts of music from from Kirk Whalum to Kenny G to some of the classics like Billie Holiday. There was just it was just a plethora of jazz music all the time in the house.
Yeah.
So it was jazz and then a lot of gospel as well. And all of those, are centered around, jazz is sort of like the foundation, and then you have from there R&B, you have funk, you have soul, you have all these different genres that kind of come from that. But I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite genre, because it's so feeling based for me, and it depends on the lyrics, it depends on the melody, it depends on how it makes me feel. There's so many components to it, but I find that I'm sort of centered around that soulful space for the most part, and that seems to be a lot of what influences me. And so, like, for example, right now I'm listening to Cleo Soul a lot. Like, I love her vibe. Naomi Sharon, that's another artist that I think is super dope, and she's actually based out in Toronto. But then at the same time, I still listen to some mainstream stuff, like Beyonce, obviously, because she's amazing, and groundbreaking. But then there's also things I listen to that are completely just different. Like, I would listen to rock sometimes, like, depending on, like, if I hear something that I think is inspiring in the song, I will listen to it. Or sometimes I listen to country if I think that there's something in there that's inspiring me. Or sometimes I listen to singer-songwriter type of songs where it's very indie based and it's just a guitar and the vocalist, because of the lyrics and what the lyrics are conveying. So this doesn't answer the question at all. because I think that I don't think I have a favorite genre. I know I have genres that inspire me. So that would be jazz, that would be neo soul, that would be gospel, that would be R&B. But in terms of what I would consider my favorite, that's hard. Favorite artists, I can say, like Stevie Wonder, like or producer. Wow, I'm blanking out on his name. Michael Jackson's producer. I'm literally blanking out on his name right now. 90
Michael
years old.
Jackson's producer?
Yeah, 90 years old, or almost 90 years old.
Wow.
Quincy Jones. Yeah, Quincy Jones. It's very inspiring. Who else? Lauryn Hill. I love Lauryn Hill. I really, 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 really love Lauryn Hill. Erykah Badu. Huge, huge, huge Erykah Badu fan. So I can talk about those. And I guess they're also still centered around that soul, funk, R&B space. So yeah.
Yes, girl, that's quite the list. That's quite the list. But what I love is that I want to say, since you've come out as an artist, like since 2018, you've always kind of knew what your sound is. Like, yes, it's like a fusion of so many genres, but the element of like a live band is always there. The jazz just automatically just comes out. And then you're always fusing elements of like piano or like Afro beats of some sort. Like, it's just drizzled in somewhere. And like, you know, it's just your sound in general. Although it's like this long list of different genres, you just know what it is when it comes out of you, you know?
No, it's true. And I think that's why I end up calling it afro-soul, because I'm just like, there's, and even sometimes afro-pop, because sometimes, because I feel like that kind of, it covers the African roots, the African elements, because there are elements of Afro beats, like when you listen to Motto, for example, that's a little more on the Afro beat side. But then it's still very soulful, like when you listen to like Intuition, where it's like traditional R&B kind of sound. But it's true, like I think that came from listening a lot to genres and listening a lot to different types of music, and just being like, okay, this is what I feel connected to. This is what I feel like I'm permanently like listening to again and again, and then writing from that place. Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. We have a follow-up question here. Okay. So, being a well-established artist, how would you give back to your community?
Oh, I love that's such a good question. So there's a few ways. I love helping artists. I think that's like a really, really important thing for me. And I really want to dive into that even deeper, because especially in Canada as a whole, where the infrastructure for Black artists is still sort of building up. And in Toronto, it's a little bit stronger, but across the board, it's really just sort of really, really small infrastructure for the Black community. And it's hard for artists to figure out like, okay, how do I get from A to B? And for some people, it could even be as simple as, I'm about to put out my first song and I don't know what to do. I don't know how to go about it. For some people, it could be, I don't know how to work through like a release strategy. For some people, it could be like, okay, I just need somebody to share my ideas with. And so I'm always like, I never hold off from artists being able to reach out to me. Like whenever, if they send me DMs or whatever else, I'm like, hey, let's set up a Zoom call. Let's talk. Like, how can I help you? How can I be of service to you? How can I help your brand move forward to wherever you want it to go? And I always constantly try to do that as much as possible. And yeah, it's something that I want to be able to dive deeper into, because so many artists need that support here, and just feel very lost. Like it can be very overwhelming. Like when you're fresh into the scene, like it can feel very, very, very overwhelming. And then also just being a part of community events, being a part of things that are happening in Vancouver. I don't just limit it to Black communities, but I do prioritize Black communities just because it is a smaller population. So just being a part of, their causes and wherever it aligns with my beliefs. And also just like, yeah, just being present, available to help, available to serve. That's sort of the posture that I have. I never turn down people reaching out asking for help and advice and things like that.
I heard somewhere that potentially in the future that you're open to creating some type of like program or school to support emerging artists.
Yeah, so like,
is that still something on your bucket list?
It's still definitely something on my bucket list for sure, to be able to help emerging artists in that way. Like there's a few ways. One is in the songwriting process, because a lot of people don't know how to go about that. Like, okay, how do I get a producer? How do I get a writer? How do I like work through all of these things? So it's definitely still something that I want to be able to help artists and coach them, or maybe in branding, like, okay, how do I build my brand? How do I build my image? It could be in like development, just learning, okay, how do I improve my songwriting abilities? Yeah, so I'm really hoping that it's something that I could still do. Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. You're still young. Still got time,
Exactly.
girl.
Still got time.
Yes. And like you said, you're touring across the
Yeah.
country essentially this spring/summer. So you never know who you're gonna meet, how
Exactly.
intentions are going to align, and who knows?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's amazing. That's amazing. I love that. I love that you're for for the people. You're here to not only just, be an established artist yourself, but also support others and bring others up with
Yeah.
you. I love that.
Yeah, I absolutely. Like there's a way you said that, it reminded me of like one of the lyrics like in Motto, like the part where I'm like, who got the sauce? I got the sauce. Like I end it with saying like, when I win, we all win. Because for me, it's like that's sort of like how I see it. I'm like, I'm looking at the people to my left, looking at people to my right, looking at people who are in my same sphere of influence, and being like, okay, if I can help you in this way to move to that next step, like you can also, who knows when you might be able to help me or like help the next person, and
Exactly.
just sort of helping each other, like growing together. And Issa Rae is like a perfect example of that. Like the way that she's always like looking like to her left, to her right. She's not
Yes.
looking up, but she's always like, how do I help those that are around me, like within like the that are close to me right now, that we can move together and grow together and strengthen our brands together. So yeah.
Exactly,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. And that's the way to do it, because God did not put us on this earth to work as individuals and do shit
Listen,
by ourselves.
listen,
Like,
yo, that like people should just debunk that idea. There's no single person in this world that's like a one man success, one woman success. Like just no, it does not exist. Like we all need other people to help us, to build us up, to push us to the next dimension. Like absolutely 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
mhm, absolutely. So with that, I'm just going to put this out there. If someone is watching and you align with everything that Sadé is saying, slide into her DM, see what can
Right.
happen, because we definitely need to grow this community
Yeah.
together.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so we are at time. We have clocked it out, but I want to play a game, and we do have one more follow-up question.
Okay.
One more follow-up question. Okay, so the question is, if not music, what would you pursue?
If not music, what would I pursue? That's a good question. I would probably be a traveler. I would probably be a traveler, and my focus would just be my focus would just be yeah, an explorer. Like, and I'd vlog about it. Oh
Why
my
not?
gosh, but then that would mean that I'm like a completely different human being, because
Literally,
music
that's my goal too. I'm always thinking about like, how can I do like, can I be a travel music journalist and like
right.
also be wealthy off of that? Like,
I'm saying, I'm just like, yeah, that's the only other thing that I can think of, because, and it's in some ways they're relations, because that I still get to meet people. Music, I get to travel, that gives me that opportunity as well, and meeting people. And I love to know people's stories, their background, why they do what they do, why they are who they are,
yeah.
like their identity. Like I just love to learn about people. So I feel like, yeah, if I wasn't doing music, I just travel.
Yeah.
I just traveling everywhere.
Yeah. I'm right there with you, girl. So if you figure it out, like, maybe we could team up on it.
Oh my God.
Oh man. All right, this has been a joy. Okay, so we usually play this game called Song Association.
Okay.
Do you know how to play?
Song association. Is it like a lyric that you connect to a song?
Yeah.
Or like,
So I
okay.
say a word and you have to think of a song that has the word in it and sing that song under 10 seconds.
Oh, okay. Wow, the pressure. All right.
You got this? Do you down to play?
Let's see.
Okay, we're gonna do like just 5 rounds. Okay. So your first word is joy.
Wow, joy. Okay. Oh my God. Joy, joy. I'm already feeling it. Joy to the world.
Okay, yes.
I couldn't think of anything else. I was like,
That's so funny. Okay, that works. Okay, your next word is dance.
Dance. Shut up and dance with me. So don't you dare look back. Keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding me. She said, shut up and dance with me. This woman is like destiny.
Okay. All right, let's go. Okay, your next word is money.
Bitch better have my money.
Oh, she brought in Rihanna.
Baby, what you want me?
Like, you forgot. I love that song. Okay, that was a good one. That's a bop. Okay. Your next word is plant.
Plant. Wow. Plant.
Give you some time on that one. It's tricky.
Yeah, I'm like, plant. And I love plants, but I'm like, plant. Plant. Wow, I got nothing.
I know, that's a hard word. That's a hard word. Okay, so your next word, just disregard that. Your next word is love.
Love. Love. So many people use your name in vain. Love. I think that's like Music Soldier. Those who have faith in you sometimes go astray. Love.
Okay. Take us to church. Let's go. That was awesome. Okay. See? Okay, you're really good at this game. You're very, very good at this game. Your final word. Your grace. Okay. Your final word is happy.
Happy. Honestly, I can only think of Pharrell's happy. No, I can think of anything else. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth.
Yes! Good job. Killed it. You slayed that game.
Thank you.
Yes, great job. All right, girl. Well, thank you so much for coming on Behind the Music. Do you have any final thoughts? Is there anything else you would like to share with the people before we end this live?
Nothing else. Stream intuition. Let's get those streams up to the charts and see you on tour. I hope to see you on tour in one of the cities.
Montreal. Oh, did you say Ottawa as well, right? Montreal, Ottawa, Ontario,
Ottawa, Toronto, Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary. 6 cities. And it's all on my website as well. So I hope to see you there.
Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna see what I can do. I'm gonna try to make it to a show for sure. Okay, this has been fantastic.
Thank you so much.
It was lovely getting to know you better.
Yes.
I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and congratulations again on the release of Intuition.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're most
Have
welcome.
a good rest of your evening. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
That's today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more conversations with artists in Canada.